Well, hey, hey, hippie. I'm wondering sure that it was on or not. All right. Hippie, can you hear me now? I'm not sure whether this thing's working or not. The timer says it is. Well, somehow I just cut the comments off. Hey, Rich, how we doing? I weren't sure whether this was even working or not. First time I'd ever tried StreamYard, so I didn't know whether it was working or not. But I guess it is. I don't have no idea how to put the link up top to share it where people can get on here. Now, I haven't figured that one out yet. Rich, you get the 283 going? Okay. Did you get your 283 going in the 57? It's running, but not supposed to get video. I'm done with the brakes and getting the flow of fuel. So is the fuel pump bad, or is it a line between the line stopped up? Okay. Yeah, Jeff said yeah. Okay. Okay, have you got an air compressor? Or you can blow back through it? Yeah, I'm trying to hold them door. I'd want to go through them, especially the wheel cylinders and the rubber lines. Definitely would want them replaced. And how old's the master cylinder? Any idea? Oh yeah, I did see where you got new rocker arms and roller ball things, washers, whatever you call them things, and castle nuts. Complete overhaul, did double roller chain, gears, about all the slugs. The head, the oil pan, the oil pump, intake area, new gaskets. Good. As long as the carburetor's not bad, you see on that. Did you check the camshaft and see if it's worn any or not? Okay. Let's say, did you check the cam, see if it had wear on it or all the lobes on the cam were good?
I'm coming right back.
Yeah, I would definitely replace them rubber hoses and the wheel cylinders. Definitely do that. If that car's been up around the salt any, I would imagine all the metal lines are in foul shape too. Yeah, I mean, you can rebuild a master cylinder. That's no big deal. Get a little hone. You can get hones from about any auto parts store. Yeah, I mean, I would try to keep it as much number matching if I was going to keep it stock. Now me, I'd cut it up and make a 2-door out of it. Cause I mean, I like to cut on stuff. But anyway, 4-door cars look good if you like them. I'm just not a big 4-door car guy. It would be a good challenge to me to do like D&D Speed Shop does, cut them up and make 2-doors out of them. I mean, it probably ruined the value of them. Number 2 and 3 pistons, and 3 are valve release, and I can't get flat tops. Yeah. That's true. But like I say, cutting the top up or cutting the sides of her up, making a 2-door out of it. That looks cool. But like I say, if you're in it to try to keep the value of it up, I guess that cutting it up would really lose value. I don't know. It's all in what you want, I guess. shoot, that truck we working on, man, my buddy went and got 2 pints or 2, maybe half a pint. I'm not sure. We'll call it 2 pints of base coat, clear coat paint, because we're going to paint behind the cab before we put the cab and the bed back together. And the clear coat and the thinner, activator, whatever you call it, reducer. 2 little old quart cans and a quart of clear, and the activator was $200. Hey, ASO, how we doing? Yeah, I couldn't believe that, how expensive 2 pints of paint and a little bit of reducer would cost. $200. And then he said to paint the truck was going to be somewhere around $750 just for the paint and the clear. I don't know who that dude is. Yeah, I was shocked, ASA. I didn't have no idea how high paint was, just no clue whatsoever. I mean, I knew, hell, all I knew about was Rust-Oleum, $50 a gallon. But let's see, he's gonna get blocked. I don't know who the hell he is. But just spent about $2,000 in paint on a truck. I believe it. I do now. I wouldn't have thought that, before. But good Lord. Rich says, no, you don't want to go out of the car. Yeah, well, I understand that. Okay. So, I don't know. Yeah, ASO, the thing with me with the Rust-Oleum, I put the trucks in the woods and I deer hunt with them. Hell, I don't care if I scratch it up, it's no big deal. Hey, Terry, how we doing? So, if, a $200 paint job to me that's a pretty good paint job. I'm not going to spend $5,000 and $10,000 on a paint job on something I drive daily. Not my old lab jumps in and out of it, and 4-year-old grandyoungin coming in and out of it. Paint jobs catch hell around here. But that's okay. As I say, my buddy's wanting to do the base coat, clear coat, and then two-tone it. Gonna be a pretty truck, but it's silverish blue on top and bottom, and gonna put like a charcoal gray through the center. Let's see. Oh yeah. This time around, wasn't right. Torque the bolts inside the valve cover area. Mistake this time around was I wasn't torque the bolts from the inside. Well, man, that cast iron head's not going to move nowhere near as much as people lead you to believe. It's just not. I've torqued them from every direction you can get a torque wrench on. Did it make a difference? Not that I know of. And it's been on street motors and drag motors and everything else. And yeah, I'm sure the best way is start in the center and work and rotate your way out. Yeah, no doubt. But if you didn't do it, it's not the end of the world. That's for sure. Well, typically, if your lifters look good, the cam lobes will be all right. Typically, so if the cam lobe's knocked off, you're gonna see it on the lifter. Hey, Jason, how we doing? But I don't know. Yeah, so all this is new to me. Yeah, I would definitely check every one of them brake lines. That thing's been up in New Jersey all its life. They're probably in rough shape unless somebody's replaced them. I mean, she'd probably be better off replacing fuel lines and all too. Going through all the trouble you've gone through. You would think if the rails were solid, then the car must not have got drove in the wintertime much. You would think. I mean, I don't know. We don't have salt on the roads here, so I don't. I mean, shoot, we didn't. We'll be lucky if we get 2 inches of snow all winter long. So we sure don't have no salt problems on the roads. We have more salt air than anything. Anyway. Hey, Smitty, how we doing, buddy? Yeah, but hopefully we can get the back of that cab painted tomorrow in the front of the bed. And maybe actually get them put together. I don't know. We'll see. I'm about ready to see that thing be a roller again. But spent a lot of time on it. A Delta 88 Royale as well, and 455 Rocket, 2-door bucket seats, and the console shift. That old car probably worth a little money. You know, if it's in any kind of shape. I don't know what kind of shape it's in. Probably a heavy thing, though. That's for sure. Delta 88. You got a 455 in it. It's probably a heavy old car. Yeah, for this one, I think I'll just keep it to a 4-door, just having one. Oh, man, cut that thing up. Shoot. I think it'd be fun to make a 4-door, a 2-door out of a 4-door. I've never done it, but it looks to me like wouldn't be too bad to do. Yeah, so I don't know.
I need a good Chevy mechanic.
We sure do. And my wife just said we need a good Chevrolet mechanic. She's got a damn 2017 Tahoe with 89,000 miles on it. And we got to put a freaking camshaft in it. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, much as one of them damn trucks cost. And it ain't lasted 100,000 miles. Yeah, probably so, Rich. I don't know, using clear coat because it feels like a person that gets sunburned in the sun. Well, yeah. I mean, it's. I don't think it's nowhere near as good as it needs to be. You know, it seems to last, especially on darker colors. Around here, it seems like the silver trucks and cars and the white, you know, the real light colored vehicles don't have clear coat issues, but that '07 Z71 of mine is red, and it's peeling like it's got 2 bad sunburns. You know, it just seems like my son's got a 15 black truck, and it's peeling like bad sunburn. But you notice several friends have got white ones and all, and they don't seem to be peeling. Okay, Rich, you empty your rattle cans into a gallon metal container, and you, how are you putting it on in? Okay. Never tried that. I ain't never been able to get an even coat with metal cans. Then actually get the activator, the thinner, the hardener, and add what's needed in order to spray the car. Okay. Well, the rattle cans. Why buy the rattle cans when you could buy a quart can or a gallon can of the same color? I guess you could. I don't know. And I really like single stage paint myself. You know, it lasted for years and years. Kind of hard not to stay with something that works. When, like you were saying a while ago, I seem like clear coat just peels like a bad sunburn everywhere you look. But anyhow, it is what it is. So what's everybody been working on lately? I've been working on trying to get this damn Achilles tendon mess fixed in my leg, straightened out. I had some kind of damn grandson been switching back allergy, cold or something, hacking, coughing, snorting, and sneezing for the last month. We seem to be getting over it. Now my wife seems to be getting it. So we'll all get it again, I guess. Well, I understand that, Rich. I do too, man. I'm not going. I can't say everything I do is on a budget because hell, a lot of it I don't even have a budget. There ain't no money to do it. But what kind of gun are you using? I'll tell you, man, I've been using some of them Purple Harbor Freight guns and $20 guns, and use them 2 or 3 times and chunk them. And the things seem to work good. I mean, I've never had a high dollar paint gun, so I can't compare it, but it does what I ask it to do. So I can't complain. That's the thing. It seems like filters and all that kind of stuff, to keep the moisture out of your air when you're spraying is one of the biggest things. So the engine block has to round kind of stuff sticking out. Yeah, that's right. Terry, you working on a 460 big block. You gonna stick it in one of them Mustangs and call it a 302. That's what you up to. So none of my lifters are collapsed, and none of them have been exploded apart underneath the intake. So you should be good. You should be. You know, I'd sure put some gas in her and fire up. Bottle feed that thing off a jug or something. Gravity feed it. Let it run a while. You know, if your fuel pump works, just put your little tank, a jug on the ground and hook a hose to your fuel pump and pump up through the motor. You know, but I'd had to run it for a while. I couldn't stand it. Terry's at 460 stock, or you working on it? I remember you were doing some 460 heads a while back. Is that for that truck motor? Oh, yeah, Rich, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Unless that front end's being rebuilt. Yeah, ball joints, upper control arms, lower control arm bushings. Probably every bit of it needs to be replaced. But you can't, I don't know if there's even good stuff to buy anymore. I bought some kit for S10. The whole, it had upper and lower ball joints, tie rod ends, upper and lower control arm bushings. It had everything front of the front end, excluding springs and shocks. And that, man, I put all that stuff in. That was like $120, $30 for all of it. And that stuff worked good. It was really tight. Grease, everything was set up with grease fittings. Seemed to be good stuff. And he got a car sitting in a junkyard since 76. That's unreal. Huh. Hey, Hubie, how we doing? Yeah, I would think it's hard to find quality parts at a decent price for a Tri-5, period. I don't know. Yeah, David, you go over there to D&D Speed Shop, buddy. He'll cut a 4-door and turn it into a 2-door in just a minute. He won't blink an eye. He'll do it quick. Old boy's out of Canada. He's tough now. Yeah, Porter just out in 1890. Yeah, but I mean, what are you going to do with a motor? You know, is it just going to be a daily driver truck? Or are you going chasing Mustangs? What's Terry going to do with it? Or is that motor even going to end up in a truck? I can see you putting it in a Mustang. Let's see. That's good. I'm glad you're here, Hibby. It's repairable to 69 over. Yeah, I'm sure it is, man. How hard is it to get parts for it? You know, are they readily available? I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a big old car. I think probably weighs 5,000 pounds. But I bet it would ride good. Did that car come with air conditioning on it? Oh, hey. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, guys, how to put my link up there where somebody could jump in, but I don't know how to do it. I don't have no idea. I don't even know where to start looking for it. Yeah, you can always get bags of Quick Creek, and pour you a driveway work pad all along. Say it'll be a daily, but I'm trying to get as much power out of it as I can. What kind of numbers you thinking it's going to make? So you have to go through StreamYard ASO, and I don't know how in the world to go about doing that. I don't have no clue. Because I weren't expecting it to come up. I was just messing with it and seeing what was involved in getting StreamYard set up. And next thing I know, I'm live. Well, I'll be here for a little while then. Yeah, but I guess I'll have to go back to StreamYard's website. Is that what I have to do? Okay. Well, my wife's a computer guru. I'll get her to figure it out. I usually avoid clear cut. I'd rather do it the hard way, have all the experience than to take the shortcut. I don't know about all that, Rich. Probably 450 and shooting for 11s. That truck's got a 9-inch under it, don't it, Terry? If you could keep it from wheel hopping, that thing ought to roll. Those old boy I used to work with had a 68, 69 Ford pickup with a 6-cylinder in it, like 306. And he had a big old golly whopping cam in that thing and 4-barrel carburetor on that crazy looking intake. And with a set of 10-inch slicks on the back of it, he could run into mid to high 7s with it in 1/8 mile, which was really impressive to me for a 6-cylinder with a 3 on the tree. A big old long, I think it was a 306, I believe is what it was. Well, that's what they say, Rich. It's all in how you prep it. But you can always go back and color sand something with some 12 or 1500 grit paper and make orange peel slick too, and then buff it. Yeah, well, I saw where a guy was mixing the other day. He sprayed his single stage color on his vehicle, and then took the last 2 coats. He mixed up a batch of clear coat and a batch of color and mixed them together, and then sprayed clear and color mix on the last 2 coats. And he got a lot of depth out of that. That looked pretty good. Okay, so you pretty much got the same truck my buddy had. He had a lot of fun with that thing. It was a nasty sounding, that old 6-cylinder chopping. I mean, it was, what thing wasn't he hardly idle down low. You had to keep RPM behind. Sounded like it was going to beat the bearings right out of her. She was hitting so hard. But he had a blast with it, so that was all that mattered. But yours has probably got the big bearing 9-inch under it too. So you could always put a 30, 33, 35 spline axles under it. Okay, well, you've been around some then, Rich. Yeah, I mean, I like trying different stuff, different ways of painting. I'm not a painter, by no means. I don't know how I wound up painting, but I guess because I can't afford to pay somebody else to do it. That's true. Terry, you gonna change the gears in that thing and put a spool in it, or a mini spool or something like that? Oh, okay. Well, I'll go check that out. The what gears in it? Do you know? Probably 355, maybe. Would it be that low with that 6-cylinder? Maybe a little low. Maybe a 410. Yeah. Have you even checked the gear ratio in that Ford? No, that I can't remember. The Ford trucks, are they leaf spring or trailing on truck? That's right, Rich. I mean, just because it don't work for somebody else don't mean it don't work for, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Rust-Oleum person. I love to paint with some Rust-Oleum. Give me a gallon of Rust-Oleum and a gallon of acetone, some Japan dryer, catalyst hardener, I'm ready to go. It's a leaf spring rear. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was trailing arm. Well, I know the Chevrolet trucks had trailing arms along in that era. So I didn't know if the Fords were the same or they were leaf spring. But that's a good 9-inch housing you got under that truck. They're hard to come by. So, like I say, have you checked the gear ratio in it? I know my 65 C10 had 410s under it. And it was 6-cylinder with 3 on the column. But when I changed the rear end out and put the one up under the 78 C10 under it, someone put a 4-link in it. There you go. Well, you know, with the leaf springs, you could always go with a ladder bar and a floater and not really change nothing. And it would work well. You know, that's another option. But, yeah. But I put that rear end out from under that 78 C10 under my 65. And shoot, it was a 308 gear. Boy, it knocked the breath out of that little 6-cylinder. You don't like it. Okay, so you're just using regular old guns. You're not using a HVLP or nothing like that. Gravity feed gun. Okay. Yeah, it's a pressure pot in. They work good. They do. I kind of like to grab the HVLP guns, gravity feed, but just because they're lighter, it seems like I can see what I'm doing a little better with those because they're not as bulky. But I mean, it's kind of hard to beat. Go to Harbor Freight and buy one of them purple guns for $20. Paint your car and throw the gun away. I got you. Okay. Yeah, well, this truck here we're getting ready to paint. I think we're going to probably pull the fenders off of it and strip it down as bare as we can and paint each pieces individually and then put the truck back together. What we were talking today anyway. Okay. Terry, have you ever took them old slapper bars, especially like the J-bolt bars, and where your rubber snubbers mounted on the front of the bar, take the snubber off and run two pieces of like 1/4 inch plate or 3/8 plate up the side, up the traction bar on both sides, and then put 3 roller bearings inside it with a bolt, grade 8 bolt through it, where the bearings stick above. So when you hit, when your traction bar comes up and hits the bottom of your leaf spring, it doesn't cause any pressure like the rubber would. It'll let it roll as that rear end works. We used to do that years ago. It makes a substantial difference. You know, it really does. It just kind of frees up the suspension, lets it work a little better. Yeah, Hubie, we're taking an 86 4-wheel drive Chevrolet truck and putting an 83 2-wheel drive cab on it, and wound up having to cut the trans tunnels out because a 2-wheel drive tunnel is different than a 4-wheel drive tunnel. And then we found a little bit of rocker panel rust, so we cut metal out of the other cab. We cut this other cab all to pieces, getting metal out of it to fix, and we've got it now where it's about ready to sand down and paint. And we've got all the body work finished up on it as far as we know. And gonna be a good truck to get through. Put all new cab bushings, so suspension bushings, put a new leaf. It's got 4 inches of lift on it, so we put leaf spring lift on it and took the block lift out. So new shocks, new tie rod ends, new everything. So it ain't ought to ride, you know, it ought to drive like a new one. Hubie, I'm not sure if I got any of them around or not, but I probably do. I probably got a set of old slapper bars around here somewhere that I could build a set. Them things work good though, man. They really did. Because those roller bearings you put, I think it was either 3 or 4 of them. They were like 1.5 or 1 3/4 diameter roller bearings. Put them together, and when they come up to the bottom of the leaf spring, they roll on it instead of that rubber snubber just jamming up on it. Yeah, it worked pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it works. I mean, it just flat works. You know, you can go to your local heavy duty truck shop and get metal shims, 2 and 3 degree, 1, 2, 3 degree, whatever you want shims. Shim the rear end to get your pinion angle like you want. And you can adjust that leaf spring car just like a ladder bar car if you want to. You know, if you want to put the time in it. That's right, with no leaf spring bind, it doesn't bind them up. And Man, we run that setup for years on a 74 Camaro with just leaf springs and slapper bars, and that thing run 650s and 8th mile all day long. Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can't, I'll see if I can't round up a set of slapper bars. I'm sure I know there's a set over at my old shop. And go get them and build that. That'd be easy to do. You know. Your motor's got the distributor on the wrong end, Terry. I can't do nothing with that. I don't even know a Ford's firing order, and they got the pistons numbered wrong. I'd be in a mess trying to do something on a Ford. But we could have fun anyway. We went there to the drag strip one night with the 68 Camaro I had. And it had a at the time it had a 358 in it, I think is what it was. Little 60 over 350. Flat tappet, solid lift cam, bow tie heads. You know, it runs 650s, 640s in 8th mile, something like that. And everybody says, oh, you know, you can't run. We started out with a 1-inch spacer under the carburetor. A 1-inch 4-hole one, then we made a pass and went with a 1-inch open plenum. Didn't seem to make much difference, so we stacked the 1-inch to 2 1-inch ones together and made a 2-inch out of it. The car picked up a little bit. Well, by the end of the night, we had borrowed 3 or 4 2-inch spacers until we didn't have no more gaskets and carburetor linkage anymore. The carburetor was sitting 6 inches or so, 7 inches off the intake, just trying it. And every pass, it kept getting a little faster. It was 60 foot and quicker, mile per hour and better, and ET and better every pass. I don't know how high I thought I would lose low end torque eventually, you know, but that carburetor was like, say, 7 inches or so off the intake. And it's still working just like it ought to. That was strange that it done that. Well, that's one way to look at it, Terry. Yeah, I rebuilt a 351 Windsor for a boy years ago, and I didn't realize that the distributor turned opposite than it did on a Chevrolet. So I looked on the intake and found a firing order, and I got it like I thought it was. Boy, I went to crank that thing and fire flying out the carburetor, and it backfiring and spitting and a hacking and a coughing. Moved the plug wires around and messed and smeared, and finally realized that the damn distributor was turning the opposite direction. I felt real intelligent then. Yeah, I like messing around in spacers too, Terry. You go to a drag strip like on a test and tune night when the weather's pretty level, so you don't have a whole lot of weather change, and just start trying spacers. Because, a general rule of thumbs will tell you, well, this works in this situation, but until you try it, you really don't know. Yeah, Rich, it'd be nice to be able to find all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure somebody, Amazon or eBay, I'm sure they got it. But, it's, the compressor's not seized up. That's cool. I didn't know back in the late 60s how many cars actually had air conditioning on them. Nothing I had air conditioning, but If it did, we cut it off. I'm in North Carolina, Terry, right on the coast of North Carolina. You ever heard of Galot Motorsports Park? Kinston Drag Strip, Jacksonville, on Coastal Plains. I'm about an hour from all of those. So we got plenty of places to race. Sometimes we go to right at the Virginia line, Hertford Northeast Dragway. That's a couple hours away for us, but that's a good track. We like going there. Hey, Bear, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, man, I'm like I say, I'm an hour from Kinston Drag Strip. And I don't care to go to Kinston. The track just greasy after 60 foot. Seems like they spray it good and hard and heavy the first 60 foot or so, and after that it goes nasty. A little bit turned to this. Oh, I bet so, Bear. Get everything to work out. Yeah, I really prefer to go to Coastal Plains if I'm going to go racing. I mean, it's just Kinston and Coastal Plains is the same distance for us from here. You know, either one's an hour away. Newbern Drag Strip, Bridgeton Drag Strip, Newbern Drag Strip, whatever it's called now. It used to be open. Hey, Tim, how we doing? Hey, Mr. Lars. But Newbern is 10 minutes from my house, and it's closed down. They're supposed to be redoing it, but I got you, ASI. Y'all having bad weather again? Well, I believe that, Rich. I believe you do things the hard way. Buddy who works for Gorilla Rods is now in Taylorsville. His 56 Chevy gas recalled yesterday's child. I think I've seen that car. I appreciate that, Tim. Yeah, I used to run some Gorilla Rods. I hadn't run any of them in a while. I mean, which I about quit drag racing. Got so daggum expensive. My buddy went over and checked on race gas the other day, and I think he said it was $14 a gallon for 112. Man, that's just crazy. Mr. Lars, what are you and JB up to tonight? I know that tree didn't blow down with that dadgum ratchet strapped on the top of it. I ain't never seen nobody do that. But yeah. Very well known. Dennis Coker was his red learner. Okay. Yeah, he's still running it as a gasser. Well, that is a cool class to me. Yeah, NC Auto. Newbern Drag Strip, that's been a long time ago. I grew up at that track. Like I say, it's 10 minutes from my house. and they're supposed to be redoing it. A guy bought it. They tore all the old. You remember it had a ditch in the center between the two lanes, and he can't get any insurance with that ditch there. So he's gone in there and dug it all up and flattened it out, and they're going to repave the whole thing or reconcrete it or asphalt it. One, I don't know which. Putting a new tower up and timing equipment. Hope it works out. Oh, okay, Hubie. Yeah, it used to be NC. Used to, that was a dirt road going back there to that place. And sometimes if you didn't have 4-wheel drive, you couldn't hardly get your race car in there. But no, that's been a long time ago too. We're telling our age now. Yep, I went out there just about every weekend with Harvey and Garley Daniels. Harvey, Garley's brother, he's my neighbor. Grew up with him, and we went all over everywhere racing them old stockers and super stockers. But like I say, that's been a many moon ago too. Shoot, there was old Bobby Warren, man. There was a whole bunch of them guys. Bud Rowe, Frank Willis, my old boss. He was on a Mustang, 69 Mach 1, I believe it is. He bought that car new and never done nothing but drag race it, and still got it today. And I think it's got like 30,000 miles on it. Ain't no telling what that thing is worth. Just a whole lot of bull jive, JB. How you doing, brother? It's but yeah, my boss pulled the original 428 or 429, whatever's in them Mach 1 Mustangs. He pulled all that out and got it sitting in his shop. He built motors to run in it, so he could put it back a total original if he wanted to. Yeah, Terry. Them super stock guys, you hand them a set of rules, and that's what you're telling them not to do. You're not telling them what to do. You're telling them what not to do, and they go from there. I mean, there's one of my buddies used to do a lot of it, man. He would acid dip the heads because you couldn't port and polish them, but he would fill the chambers up, the runners up with acid and let them set, and it would eat them up and get away with a lot of that stuff, you know. Back before the 18 degree and everything was 23 degree heads, back before the 18 and 15 and 13 stuff, them boys were angle milling the heads and welding them back up on one side and then milling them down and then mill the intake so it would all fit. Didn't know what they were doing. They just knew every time they angled them heads more, made more power. So it's all good, but man, them were the fun days of racing. It didn't cost a lot. You could go to the scrap yard and buy parts, but not anymore. Yeah, that's right, NC. I mean, shoot, everybody had old ramp truck. You know, that was fun, man. A ramp truck and a charcoal grill and raced. Used to go to Suffolk, Virginia. They used to have a lot of NHRA points races and stuff there. We used to go up there a lot. It's coming along pretty good, Bear. I think we finally finished the body work on it. And we're going to get right and probably maybe start painting on it, getting ready to paint it tomorrow. I didn't think we were going to paint it until he told me today that we were. Well, okay. Yeah, man, ramp trucks were the thing back then. That was just cool racing. You know, now you see these big old enclosed trailers up and down the road, and you don't have no idea what's inside of them. Yeah, Barry, I'm glad to get this thing going on with it and get it out of the shop. We can get right and get to work on something else. I missed that one, Rich. I don't know what no is supposed to mean. Oh, yeah. If you got the pulling measurements on them heads, you'd probably find all kinds of little things that were done that nobody ever heard of. You know, would have ever seen, didn't he know to check? Yeah. Yeah, Garley and them used to use some kind of epoxy type stuff. They would hog those heads out, and then they would hog them out till they hit water jackets and start filling them back in with some kind of epoxy mess, and it looked like rough cast iron when they got through. You know, so yeah, they did do all that. Yeah. Well, that's good, Bear. You need to get out and get to working on that thing. Get your welding machine out and get at it. Shoot, there ain't no telling what it would even cost to build a stock or super stock car nowadays. I mean, I bet you'd have $150,000 in one to build it, and then go race for $1,500. Make a lot of sense, don't it? But anyway. Well, guys, this has been fun, but we've been on here an hour and 10 minutes now. And I think I'm going to get right and call it a day. So anyway, all right, guys, I appreciate it. Hang with it, and we'll see y'all probably next week. We may try to do it again. All right, see y'all later.